Welcome to Pro Saints Talk. The Saints are 1-1. Boogie, can you believe it? This guy all week long was thinking we were going to be 0-2. Hey, Saints pulled one out. It was pretty crazy. I'm going to say George, right next to me at the one point there in the fourth quarter, thought, hey, I just think we're going to lose this game now. I don't know what it is. But nevertheless, we came out with a victory, and what made it even sweeter, I think, was our arrival under the overpass. It was just it was validation for us doing this podcast here that it's all worth it. George, what'd you think about that reception we got?
Well, we do it all for the fans. You know, we all have a lot on our plates right now. We're juggling, careers, families, but this is all dedicated to the love and support that we get from our fans at the overpass.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. It just, it was heartwarming. We get all the constructive criticism there, but, we're looking to grow. We're looking to grow that fan base, and we're looking to grow that tailgate. With that being said, let's get into the game a little bit deeper. It was a bit of a roller coaster ride, but hey, let's kick it off with the Marcus Davin report. Boogie, what'd you think about Davin Bust this week?
Dude, Davin Bust showed up on Pro Focus as the number 2 edge rusher this week. But remember when Lattimore started appearing on like the Pro Focus week 2, week 3? We're like, whoa, is this guy really good? And then all of a sudden he blossomed. So a little hope from Davin Bust. The only thing is, it seems like he's more aggressive on the run plays. I would like to get some pressure. I haven't seen him get like any big time pressure on the quarterback. All these Twitter videos are him like running down a running back and stuff. But I'd like to see him get some pressure. If he got some pressure, that would totally change our defense.
The Pro Football Focus grade came out right after the game. And how can they really break down the game while they're watching it? It's just like the game ends, and then 15 minutes they pump these grades out. I'm a bit skeptical of them. I thought Davenport played well. I really did. I'm eager to talk about that, but I don't think he's deserving this high of praise from Pro Football Focus and then the rest of the Saints world that sees that grade and then makes a big hullabaloo about it. And it's very ironic that this guy is a one-dimensional pass rusher, so we think, after we draft him, just to be a Vic Beasley, pin your ears back and go after the quarterback, what Kakaha could have been, and yet it's more of a
stopping the run.
It's stopping the run like Charles Grant. And you're just like, this is not who I thought he was. I'd take it. But, and I'll get into this further later, but the one thing I really didn't like is that, okay, I get it. He's gonna get a lot of at-bats here. We're just gonna throw him in there, give him all the reps he can take until he gets good. He has to be good. We have a lot invested in him. We're just gonna throw him in and make it work. And I'm cool with that. The one thing I don't like is don't deactivate Trey Hendrickson, who's another young, promising D-end who he could grow with. I think Trey Hendrickson can be a guy that can provide some of the solutions that we're looking at Davenport as well, a very complementary piece. It's good to have multiple good D-ends. Let's keep Hendrickson active and let them grow together. Ron, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, I love Hendrickson. I mean, we talked about it on the very first podcast when we were breaking down the depth chart. I couldn't agree more that, I want Hendrickson out there getting reps. But, it's a crowded D-line. Trying to get everybody in a jersey on Sunday is going to be a challenge. Yeah, you need roster spots elsewhere, with how dinged up the offensive line's been. It looks like they're going to need to be rotating people into the secondary, to be honest. But okay, so I guess let's transition into a little bit more of the X's and O's of the game. Boogie, I know you've been doing some Twitter film study and just breaking down what the hell's been going wrong on defense. But let's start on defense and tell me what you think, Boogie.
Dude, I think Lattimore played a lot better. Well, first off, let me talk about the Browns game for a second. Any other team would have beat us in the last, from Peyton's awful clock management. Any other team with 8 seconds left throws a 15-yard out route on Crawley, kicks the game-winning field goal, and we're 0-2. So thank God we were playing the Browns because we should have lost that game. I was pissed leaving the Dome. Okay, getting back to the game, though. Lattimore played a lot better. I don't know what Crawley's doing. Crawley's going back to 2016, undrafted free agent. Looks like he needs to hit the bench, but we don't have any other better option. The other reason, probably the main reason why the secondary is struggling, is we have no pass rush at all. I mean, dude, did you see my boy Stallworth with the dreads? That dude had no push all game. I had the binoculars out and everything. I was checking him out. And they double team Jordan, and then it's just from there. And Tyrod Taylor has all day. I mean, we had one sack on Tyrod Taylor, I think. And,
no, I think we had a couple.
Three. Cam had two, and Sheldon Rankins had one.
We had 3 sacks?
Yeah.
Those straight bullshit sacks, man. We had one real sack.
Let me jump in on what you just said. The Crawley right now is
like a sack, like him going out of bounds for a loss of a yard.
No, we had some sacks. The one that you might not like is the one where he went to go take off and run, and he went right up the middle, but he ran into Sheldon Rankins. It was a 2-yard loss, and the quarterback kept it, so technically it's a sack, but it's a run because Tyrod Taylor's a dual threat. But long story short, 3 sacks, a little bit better pressure than the Bucs game, but not great pressure. But you said something I want to harp in on. Crawley is just in a slump. There's no other way to put it. The guy looks stressed out there. From his eyes are popping out of his helmet. It's from the end of last season and carrying over to the beginning of this season. The guy is not the same guy we saw last year in the Panthers game from about week 3 till the second Panthers game. The guy was a stud number 2 corner, which is a luxury to have.
No.
And so we know he's not bad because we've seen it last year. He's not Jason David. He's not Brandon Browder. He's not Browner. He's not Del Carter. He's not bad. He's just in a slump right now. And we need to keep him out there because, like you just said, there's no better option. We can put P-Rob out in the corner and then move Bell down and let Coleman be your your third safety. That's not the option. You have to just let Crawley play his way out of this slump.
Yeah, let me add on to that with Crawley. You said to the Panthers game for the playoffs, let's not forget that he blew the coverage against Tampa in the season finale. Then, during the Carolina game, he blows the coverage on one of the plays when Newton was driving down the field. And then how can we forget him blowing the coverage in Minnesota? So he's had an awful stretch for these last couple of games, man.
But now's the time we have to kick into gear because we got the Falcons with Sanu, with Julio, with Ridley, and our corners need to be on their A game because they were not on their A game week 1 versus Tampa Bay, and we got torched. And this offense has more weapons than that offense. And Lattimore is going to be on an island first versus Julio, and then in 2 weeks versus Odell, and he needs all the help he can get. And that starts with Crawley and the rest of the secondary. And like Boogie just said, that comes with your pass rush. It's a symbiotic relationship, a yin and a yang. And I think a lot of people think that this is going to be like a shootout because their defense has holes and injuries everywhere, and our defense hasn't figured our shit out yet. And so on paper, you think that this is going to be a shootout. Yeah, it's just going to be a hard-fought dogfight because these teams know each other so well. They know Sean Payton and Drew Brees. We know Matt Ryan. We know what to expect out of it. So maybe this will be what gets our defense back in rhythm, just the adrenaline of playing our biggest rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, another contributing factor to it being a shootout is Devontae Freeman's not practicing. So,
yeah, he's out.
He's out. Yeah, he's going to be out. They're going to be on Coleman. So, I mean, they're not going to fully abandon the run game like we will. But yeah, it's going to be a bench passing attack. If you're a fantasy football player, you're going to want to load up on Saints and Atlanta receivers this weekend, in my opinion, just because, yeah. It's going to be one of these situations where the secondary is probably not going to get right this week. This is just not a game for them to get right in. I would have thought it would have been last week, but we actually found out that the Browns had some pretty talented young receivers. So I don't know. it's the Falcons game. Anything can happen, and anything will happen. I think they're definitely going to be motivated. They're going to be hyped up, but of course, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is going to be rocking out there, and I'm sure you got to think the frustration on the Falcons side. They're reading all the press clippings about how Matt Ryan can't get the ball to Julio in the end zone. I'm thinking they're going to be intentionally targeting him in the red zone this week. So Lattimore's got to step it up. I mean, he has got to step it the fuck up. He is the leader on the defense, whether he likes it or not.
Lattimore?
Cam Jordan, I think, is passing the torch. It's got to be Lattimore. The rest of the secondary goes with him. I think you said that, George. I mean, he makes plays. He makes everybody else better. I don't know what the hell happened with Crawley last year, where he hit this mid-season form where, he was grading off the charts. I didn't really think it was sustainable, but he needs to find it again and quick. Like I said, I mean, this is going to take all hands on deck to win this game this week.
Yeah, let me get on with Crawley about not, having to stick with him because we don't have anyone else. I mean, I really don't want to put P-Rob out there because why do after we let P-Rob go in free agency, we bring him back? And why would we want to relive the nightmare of bad Saints defenses and watch him get burned again after we let him go in a Saints uniform? So I'd rather just stick with Crawley and not see P-Rob get burned anymore because we've all seen that movie and it doesn't end well. So
yeah, I still have faith in Crawley, and I like what y'all brought up about the running game. Is they have a running game, and Freeman doesn't have Coleman. Coleman's a pretty damn good running back. It would be a household name in the fantasy community and in the football nerds like us if it wasn't for Freeman. He's a real threat back there. They lost their starting guard for the year, so that's not going to help them. But our problem right now with our running game is Sean Payton's specialty with the running game is fire and ice, thunder and lightning. He has Deuce and Reggie. He has Pierre and Sproles. He has Ingram and Kamara. So he has the guys that can be your threat down the middle and the guys that he can use outside. It's all decoy. It's all complex. It's all his mad science. And we signed Gillislee a few days before the season started. And there's no way he could learn the mad science of this offense. So when defenses see Mike Gillislee in the game, they know he's going to run right up the middle. Every time that's what Gillislee does. And it completely takes away from the 1-2 punch, the thunder and lightning ability of Kamara running. So I don't think it has nothing to do with Kamara. Kamara is still as good as it gets in the running back position. We just need to have another guy to be the up-the-middle Ingram. And we have to just give the ball to Jonathan Williams 8 to 12 times to really figure out who he is. Because that's the only way we're going to set up our running game and not be binge breezing all bloody game.
No, you're exactly right, dude, because Kamara was getting up a little slower this past week. And we called it the week before. We said, dude, we cannot keep using him like this. He won't last. He won't last until Ingram gets here. Dude, I mean, he took some shots, and every time he goes up the middle, man, he's taking gang tackles. We're putting him in these situations where, you know how all last year we kept saying how, man, he just never takes a hard hit because he's always so elusive. It always looks like they're getting like a half a hit on him or he's getting out of bounds. Well, we're putting him in all these situations where he's got to put his head down and lower his shoulder, and he's just getting beat up. He went into the injury tent at one point last week. I mean, you're seeing how pivotal he is to this offense, dude. He goes out. We got one play, and it's a freaking curl route to Mike Thomas.
Exactly right.
It's getting real two-dimensional right now. They need some other guys to step up. We saw Traquan Smith make a catch. He's got to get more engaged. Supposedly he's going to get a little bigger role this week. Ginn's dealing with an injury. I'm expecting him to really, if he has a big game, I like our chances a lot.
I agree. And y'all heard me on our group text about Kamara. I mean, dude, I think it was like the second play. He got up and he was limping, went to the sideline. Trainers checked him And Peyton just kept giving him the ball. I don't know if y'all saw him. That's why he got slower. And I think I texted you, Ron. I was like, man, Kamara's like, he's limping. It's on the sideline. But, you know, he looked a little bit quicker after halftime. Probably got shot up or something. But, dude, he's going to get hurt if he keeps running like that, just up the middle. And he's, like, trying to stretch out to get an extra yard. He's going to get hurt. So, no, I 100% agree. And I think my tweet aged pretty well during the season when I was like, who's our number one running back? And, you know, beat writers were like, Kamara, brah. You know, obviously Kamara cannot be the number one running back because he's going to get hurt and it's not going to be good. We need to run the ball. And I say give it to Boston Scott or Jonathan Williams. It looks like, speaking of Scott, it looks like he's going to be on the active roster this week. Looks TLL is out. He really sucked anyway, so Boston Scott might have some opportunities unless Clickbait get back in there. Baby.
I was about to make that. I mean, would you really think it was that crazy if we put Clickbait up the middle? We've seen him run every other position other than defense. I would not be that shocked if for one play Clickbait was sitting next to Breeze and shotgun to accept the handoff.
That's not bad, George.
He might throw him the ball.
I'm gonna just go out and say I don't not like that.
I would take Clickbait over Gillisley. I think we all would.
Oh yeah.
No, dude, you can't put Clickbait in as a running back.
Why not? He's a kicker returner.
Speed.
Yeah, the 4.4.
Yeah.
Let's try
every week.
He's going to average more than the 1 yard Gillisley average last game.
Yeah, seriously, dude. The rushing yards per carry is getting abysmal, man. I mean, they need a shot in the arm. Why couldn't it be him, man? Every week we've seen him in a new spot. Why couldn't we see him in a new spot this week?
You know, us in the preseason would be laughing at us, pointing and laughing at us if they heard us talking about this now. But that's kind of where we are. I mean, if you're not going to try Jonathan Williams, Falcons Scott maybe is a bit undersized to be your Mark Ingram. We need something, because that was what was missing in the Browns game. We couldn't control the ball because the running game was just depleted. It was so obvious what we were doing. We need some running attack. I'm not going to bet the house on Taysom Hill being the answer on that, but that's what we're missing right now, and then you're seeing it rear its ugly head on how our offense operates without a running game.
Dude, yeah, and Peyton just doesn't trust these young guys to carry the ball. Peyton just doesn't trust them. And after Gisley burned him game one, he just doesn't want to give anyone else the ball, dude, because he doesn't want them to fumble. So,
dude, I'll tell you what else. Think about when we had 1st and goal on the 2 this past week and we didn't score a freaking touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, if we put freaking Taysom Hill in there, I guarantee you we score a touchdown some way, somehow. The guy's an X factor, man. Yeah. He makes plays. And look, sometimes you get these kinds of people in football. And you just got to find a way to make them get on the field and touch the ball. I mean, they've done it years after years. You think about guys like Tyreek Hill. You think about guys like Michael Lewis. Like, it didn't matter. It was like, dude, get the ball in their hands and things will happen. Man, I'm starting to feel that way about Taysom Hill. The dude returned the kickoff to the 45 out of the blue. Well, he kind of deked him out with the whole, like, he was making like the safe signal, like no return. Then he just came out with it.
Was Tommy Lee out?
And that was awesome.
Is he our new kick returner?
The Dome would have gone crazy. Yeah, he's going to be the kick returner. Yeah, I think Peyton's going to put his ass in as the kick returner. Dude, the Dome, he needs to score a touchdown in the Dome.
He will. He will. And we're all going to gallop once he does.
Yeah, that's true. We made that bet. Just like I owe y'all 3 beef burgers, bro. But getting back to Hill, I think Peyton, if there's a game where Peyton's going to bust him out, it's this game.
I can see that.
Peyton wants to win this game. I think this is a turning point. We got to go. If we go 2-1 going into New York, I mean, man, I'll like that.
2-1 is so much better than 1-2. If we dig ourselves a hole that we have to fight out of the whole beginning of the season, those seasons suck. When you're like trying to get back to 500 and you're like watching the playoff hunt, I hate that. Going 2-1 and getting ahead of your record is such a much easier process for the whole rest of the season than it is when you dig a 1-2 start for yourself. And then going to New York, they look pretty rough. Eli Manning has just crashed and hit the wall. It's like quarterbacks you see every year. You just see that one big name where the guy has just become ineffective. Like Carson Palmer at the end of his Cardinals career last year. It's kind of like what Eli Manning is now. It's just like it's just the way of nature, if you will. Their cycle has ended. Yeah. And Eli, man, I don't know if you'll watch Sunday Night Football versus the Cowboys. That was hard to watch. The shots he was taking, the look on his face when he got up. But I don't want to go 2 weeks in advance. We can cross that bridge next podcast. But I'm just saying, 2-1 going at the Giants, like you just said, Boogie.
Gotta get it, man.
But there's two names I want to bring up. There's two names I want to talk about, and we're going all over the place, and that's okay. Listeners, you'll be all right. Two names, Ben Watson and Kurt Coleman. High hopes this offseason, veterans coming in to ignite our offense and defense and be a veteran presence that we needed, in positions that we needed, yet I haven't seen a damn thing from either. What's going on?
Well, you can't fault Watson for the throw that Breeze missed.
Dude, he's going like 2 miles an hour. He's been playing almost every snap. When he goes out to run out for his route, he's going as fast as you and I would be out there.
But he looks like an Under Armour model.
So do I, Ron, but I'm not that fast.
Yeah, dude. He's pretty slow, and I don't know, man. I mean, he just needs to produce on those little plays like he did on the goal line. But I mean, he would have caught Breeze just overthrew him. He caught one pass when they were making the drive down in traffic. He's not going to tear it up, man. He's like 38 years old.
At most he's going to be a guy that just finds a hole in the zone, man. He's going to be like Colston at the end of his career,
right?
At best,
right. And Coleman's looking more and more like a Dwight Smith signing. And apparently, remember when we signed him, Peyton was like, you saw these articles from, I think, NFL.com that, man, such a big signing. Apparently Peyton was, really pumped up to get him. But so that just shows you, man, if Peyton really wants you and you're a defensive player, you're probably not that good. So,
amen.
So, I mean, maybe he's a good leader, but Von Bell, you said it today, Georgie, when we were talking earlier. Von Bell plays more than him. So, I mean, I'm sure he's a good backup and he's going to go to the line and help the run, but he's not a game changer or anything like that.
No. And Jeff Ireland was so pumped when we signed him too. And I think both these signings, you'll say, like, this is who we thought Ben Watson was. A lot of people thought we were getting Ben Watson from 3 years ago back, and we're not. And I want everyone just to realize that. Don't think that's the guy still on our team who caught, 800 yards 3 years ago. That is not the Ben Watson on this team now. And
it goes back 2018, not 2016.
Dude, I called into WWL and they lambasted me for saying that. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but this seems so obvious. And yet Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton said, all right, we'll put Ben Watson back up there. The guy looks like an Eli Manning skeleton running out these routes.
Well, look, hey, let's go back to game changers and playmakers. You know who else is popping up on the injury report, unfortunately, is Manti Te'o. After we really lobbied for him to get on the field, and Sean Payton and Dennis Allen listened, and they got him out there, and look at what we got for results. Anzalone took a deep dive in snap counts, and I think that was the difference, man. I don't think that guy's really ready yet. But okay, I say all that to say, going into the freaking belly of the beast in Atlanta, and our boy, the Junkyard Dog, is going to be looking like he's going to be getting some reps. He's going to be getting ready to eat.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be a dog fight. When can we ever need the Junkyard Dog more than at Atlanta when they're going to be trying to pound Coleman down our throat?
Hell yeah,
he's going to tear it up. He's going to kill it.
Craig Robertson, I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. Craig Robertson gets a sack on Matt Ryan.
Well, are you gonna put it? You gonna put a Dixie beer on it, Ron? Even though I don't want to bet against you, we'll take a Dixie beer from you any week of the year. For Monday Night Football, we'll put a Dixie beer on it.
Hey, we'll do a Dixie Light, dude. Local and locale.
Locale. I've never said this before, and it's going to feel weird saying it. AJ Klein played pretty well last week. He and Demario Davis formed a little 1-2 punch.
Dude, nothing weird with saying that.
Yeah, it was
Dude, nothing weird about that. Dude, that's what we signed Klein for.
That's
we signed him to come in here and be a freaking playmaker.
We signed Jason David to come here to be a playmaker. Like I said,
come on, we got to give ourselves a little credit. We got to give ourselves a little credit.
You can't. But what last week we did this last podcast, we were scratching our head. What the hell are we doing with our linebackers? Why is Demario Davis playing at the outside linebacker? Seemed like last week we kind of got it figured out of what we're doing at linebacker. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Repeat that question.
It seems like we got our shit together at linebacker. When after week one, it just seemed chaotic.
No, I think we went from being really shitty to just like not busting every coverage, so we thought it was really good. But I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think we're like.
This will be telling.
We're not what it to be. Yeah. We'll see. Atlanta's going to show us a lot. I think if we go back to sucking this week on the defense, we have a lot to worry about. It's going to be, back to the 8-8. But if you come out,
Boogie, let me stop you right there, dude. Let me stop you right there. This is one of the points I wanted to make. You can't really blame this past Sunday on the defense, dude. They did their job. They got you key turnovers. After we made turnovers, they turned them over on downs. Marcus Williams gets the pick. They only gave up 18 points when it's all said and done. If we can't win a damn home game after holding the opponent to 18 points, that's an embarrassment. So I personally think that the defense did everything they needed to do. I mean, obviously, throw out the Hail Mary that they whiffed on. I don't think they were really ready with the right personnel or scheme on that one if you look at the all-22 view. But yeah.
Either were they in Minnesota.
Look, the defense really wasn't to blame this past week. So I think they're on the up and up. I think they're ticking in the right direction. And yeah, Craig Robertson, freaking captain, is going to right the ship this week. I think we need to get into score predictions. What do we think for this weekend? George, what do you think?
I think a lot of experts in Vegas will probably expect this to be a shootout because their defense is banged up with Keanu Reeves, Deion Jones, Tack, all injured. But I think these teams just know each other so well, we're not going to be able to take advantage of their defense. We're not going to be able to go all out and score them like we did against the Buccaneers just because we know each other so well. And this game's always a dogfight. I think, like last year, after the second game is when we turned it around. Last year was at Carolina, an equally difficult opponent and meaningful game. And at Atlanta, this is where our whole team turns it around. And instead of just playing well in the fourth quarter, it'd be a four-quarter performance by the whole team. Not just what we really need at the very end in the fourth quarter, but the entire game. So I'm going to say this will be a performance that makes us kumbaya. We'll get the job done. We'll be ahead from beginning to end. We're going to win 28-21.
Boogie, what do you think?
I like that, Georgie. I cooled down a little bit since coming out the game. Y'all saw me when I came out the gate. I was pretty hot still. But I've been going back and forth this week. And this is such a Peyton team. After watching Peyton teams for this is our 13th season. I mean, you just know a Peyton team. Just we suck. We start off slow. We snuck out that win against the Browns, which is big. So now we're 1-1. But I've been thinking all week, a Peyton team would stink against Tampa and then the Browns, and then come kick Atlanta's ass. So, I mean, this is such a Peyton thing to do, would be to go into Atlanta and win. So, my gut feeling is, I think we're going to go in there and win, just because he's Peyton, and he's just going to jack them up, and they're going to win. So, I don't know, man. It's such a Peyton thing to do, and then we'll go lose to the Giants or something.
Yeah, that's so freaking true.
But we'll win this week. It'll probably be a crazy game. They've been all over the place, so I think we'll learn a lot this week. Hopefully hopefully they come together. You always hear, hey, man, you go on the road, you plan everything out, you group together. So I think we may win. I don't know the score. It'll probably be crazy. Taysom Hill scores a touchdown. That would just be awesome. So, and I don't know who's going to be returning kicks. They said our special teams was good. I thought it sucked. So, I don't know. Westhoff is the man. But what do you think, Ron? What's your gut feeling?
I'm thinking it's going to be close as always. I mean, how many of these games go down to 3 points? So I think it's going to be 27-24. I think Julio Jones may very well rack up near 200 yards receiving, but I still think we keep the jinx going for him. We keep him out the end zone. I think we get a key turnover, which I don't know about y'all. I feel like, I don't know. I got to check my memory here, but I feel like the Falcons are always pretty tight in terms of ball security when we're playing them in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium / Georgia Dome. But I think we're going to force a turnover. And I'm going to go out and say I think Clickbait's going to return a kickoff for a touchdown. No, if that happens, though, but seriously
y'all love
Clickbait.
Save it for the Dome. But Monday Night Football has him return one.
And now is a quick word from our sponsor. Do you like your Chinese food cheap, greasy, and with a hint of danger? Then look no further than China Palace on Carrollton Avenue, next door to the illustrious Magnolia Discount. China Palace offers your favorite Chinese dishes for daily $3.99 specials. Also, China Palace no longer has a failing health code grade and increased its score all the way to a C. Remember, that's China Palace on Carrollton. See you there.
Last prediction we need from you is the Army Oklahoma prediction.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
You know another reason why we'll win this
wait.
week? Let me jump into that. You know another reason why we'll win this week? It's because we were all planning to go to the Atlanta game. Of course, it fell apart. But just because we didn't go, and we've lost except for London, we've lost every away game we've ever been to. Go out and win it and win Sunday. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen.
We're going to win because we didn't go, or you're saying
no?
We're
That's just how life
is.
Yeah, I agree with Boogie on that.
Yeah, Murphy's Law. We're going to go. Yeah, it'll be awesome. We're like, oh shit, we should have gone to the game. So anyway,
no, hey, if that's true,
games.
if that's true, let's plan to go to every away game and cancel.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, give us our Army Oklahoma prediction here.
Yeah. So Army riding a little bit of a winning streak now. We had the Rainbow Warriors fly freaking halfway around the globe. I think it was like 5,000 miles up to West Point, up to Mikey Stadium, and hey, they came out of the gates, and it was 6 a.m. for Hawaii their time, but they had to give Army the wake-up call. They marched right down the field with some big passes, and they scored, go up 7-0 early, but Army not going down with the first punch, stayed with them, and eventually I'm going to go out and say they kind of took over that game. They covered the 6.5 point spread. Hey, they don't get any.
So Ron, who's going to win the Army Oklahoma game?
Hey, I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there, dude. We got to recap. Look, dude. So we doesn't get any easier this week. They got to go into Norman, Oklahoma, and I think we know who plays there. This guy named Kyler Murray got a freaking major league contract already waiting for him from the Oakland Athletics. I think this dude's already got like a $5 million signing bonus anytime he wants it. But hopefully that's a distraction for him. Hopefully that's a distraction for him when these Army guys are running after him. So we'll see if they can shock the world this week. I mean, obviously, nobody on this podcast is going to pick them to win. I don't think anybody in the country is going to pick them to win. But that's exactly why they could do it.
That's right. That's the attitude. But for the Falcons, we need some can-do attitude here, Ron. And thanks for the Army Oklahoma report. Do that weekly in a timely fashion. And New Yorkers are killing me. New Yorkers are going to kill me for expediting that. We love you, New Yorker. We love all our fans out there.
Tack McKinley.
In my time away from Louisiana, I've been really good friends with the main man, Taylor, in Atlanta. And here he is to break down the Atlanta Falcons.
Hey, what's happening, Who Dat Nation? Looking forward to another big matchup this week. start off with the most disappointing aspect of our season. Our defense is crumbling right before our eyes. We lost the quarterback of the defense, Deion Jones. We lost Keanu O'Neal. DeMonte KZ might be missing a little bit more time. And if you want to read into a 2-word tweet, leading pass rusher tied with Brian Poole, our leading sack leader, is possibly going to miss a week or two as well. So this will be something that Breeze and the offense will probably be licking their chops at.
So long story short, it's a great time for us to be playing the Falcons, especially the fact that Debo Jones, Jesuit New Orleans, is out. And he's been a Saints killer for ever since the end of the league 3 years ago. His first time playing in the Superdome, he picked off Drew Brees. I feel like he's got an interception versus him every game since then. Freeman, another Saints killer. It's a great time to be playing the Falcons. But even when you say all these things, it's going to be a tight game regardless, because that's just how it always goes down when the Saints play the Falcons. It just seems like both games last year, whoever has the ball last is going to win. The 2 games last year, we went for the game-winning touchdown in Atlanta to Josh Hill, and Debo Jones, aforementioned, had that game-winning interception. And then we also had the game last year with the butt interception from Lattimore, who hasn't looked the same this year. So what are some things the Falcons are chomping at the bit right now going against the Saints? Seems like your offense is certainly churning in all gears, and our defense is last in the NFL. Does that have you licking your chops, Mr. Pack?
Yeah, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to make a small correction on your statement. I would say this is a good time for your offense to be playing the Falcons. It's not a good time for your defense to be playing the Falcons. Sark's finally starting to show a little bit of creativity with his play calling. We got 8 guys catching passes last week. Calvin Ridley, which we drafted in the first round, is looking like he's not the explosive downhill long catch type player that we thought he was going to be, or at least I did. But those short, quick routes, man, he is a samurai. He's going to cut you up. Austin Hooper, we drafted him 3 years ago, finally starting to look like he might be getting the hang of it. This game will 100% be a shootout. I'm looking at maybe as much as 80 points scored.
Wow. Similar to the Buccaneers Saints game week 1.
Yes.
I could see it, but there's also the fact that these teams know each other so well. So then that could lend itself to being a shootout, and it could also be the opposite, is that we know what to expect. The Falcons probably know Sean Payton as well as anybody. And we know Matt Ryan about as well as anybody too. So that's the thought in my mind to prevent it from being 40-40, an 80-point game. But it certainly could. Right. It's pointing to that in a lot of aspects, because our offense looks good, our defense looks atrocious, and same with y'all. And there's weapons galore on both sides of the ball, even though both of our running backs, Ingram and Freeman, are out.
Now let me ask you this. I actually didn't get to check out the Saints game last week. How is Alvin looking this year? Is he continuing where he left off?
Alvin looks good. The problem is defenses are keying in on him so that it's all on him now. It's the Mike Thomas Kamara show. He's much better as thunder and lightning with Ingram. So when we bring Ingram back, Kamara's going to be better because defense have to key in on him. Right now it's Gillislee and Williams in, and they don't pose much of a threat, especially Gillislee. So let me last question for our great friend Mr. Pack. How you're going to be at the game, not the Georgia Dome, but the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the Battle of the Benz. Are you going to be there?
Yes, I will. I'll be there. I have to be there. It's my civic duty. That's one less seat for a Saint fan to take up, so I've got to get in there, get my ass in a seat, and lose my voice that day.
How do we anticipate? You had a divisional opponent last week. You got another one this week. How do you anticipate the frenzy in the stadium?
The frenzy?
Because they always get wild when the Saints play the Falcons, especially in the Superdome.
Yes. No, it'll be wild, but just gonna be a little bit honest with everyone here. Falcons fans aren't known to be the most raucous crew. We'll do our best. A lot of Saints fans have moved here back when you guys had your hurricane, so it's not gonna be as it's gonna be tough, but there will be a lot of Saints fans there. But Falcons fans are going to do our best to make it difficult for Drew Brees to run his offense.
Is your DJ have his fake noise playlist set up already, or has the new stadium disallowed that?
Word is we are again pumping fake crowd noise into the stadium. Y'all be on the lookout for that.
All right, you'll be our sideline correspondent on the fake noise meter. Well, everyone, give Mr. Pack a big thank you. It's all love. Big rivalry. I think we've all had our rundown with the Falcons fans that were yelling at us. You've just been victimized. But look, guys, no reason why we can't get along, especially this early in the season. Maybe come week 16, week 17, we can go attack Mr. Pack. But for now, we can all remain cordial, best buddies. So once again, thank you, Mr. Pack.
All right, guys, go Dirty Birds.
We got Atlanta this week. Got the Giants. Big game, 325. Maybe we all got to get under the overpass together to watch that away game at 325. Then we're coming home to the Redskins, and we're going live. We're going live under the overpass, boys. That's right, boss, vetters. We're going to be going live. If you come on the podcast, Georgie's going to have the table, the microphone, the trailer, the chairs, barbecue pit. We'll be live under the overpass Monday Night Football. Book it down. Take us out, Ron.
We out here, y'all.
This podcast dream would only be a dream if not for Andrew Simmons behind the ones and twos doing the hard part. So a big shout out to our sound engineer, Andrew Simmons.